Okay, hello everyone. I moved to chapter 11 to module 1 or part 1. In my opinion, I think this chapter belongs to the managerial role or managerial skill. In the textbook, chapter 11 is, I forgot, in the the section or the part of planning, but they call it like planning and decision making. I don't agree. Okay, so in my opinion, problem solving and then decision making, we better to separate them. Let me explain you why. First of all, I think decision making as a manager, you need to make decision, but not every day you have the problem, right? So I just wanted to tell you, like, problem solving is a very important skill you have to have, okay? But decision making, no matter you are good at it or not so good at it, you need to make decision anyway, right? Let me ask you a quick question. You needed to make a quick decision, what to eat for lunch today or tomorrow, okay? So if you stay on campus, very likely, I will go to Rice Union to decide, all right? Chicken fillet, I already made the decision for you, okay? Go to what we will cover in this chapter. Chapter 11, think about, change the title as problem solving. Let me try to make it clear. I will talk about problem solving. I will talk about the problem solving process, all right? And then I will talk about some approaches and tools about the problem solving, all right? And then I try to cancel this decision making, not because decision making is not important, all right? Decision making is very important. So I'd like to set this aside, and then later on we come back to decision making. Let's put it this way. I don't want you to have problem. I don't want you to have troubles every day. You needed to solve the problem. We'll talk about how to solve the problem, if there's any. Actually, when we talk about the problem solving and decision making, as the manager, as a manager, you are the problem solver, right? You are the decision maker. I don't want to talk too much about the decision maker, but you will be the problem solver. Your problem, your employee's problem, your superior, your boss's problem, that's your problem, right? You need to solve. They will ask you to solve the problem. Honestly, most of the time you will realize, but when you see problem, most of the time it's not good, okay? It's not good. But let me tell you this. I also think this can be the opportunity, but treat this in a positive way, okay? In a positive way. Although most of the time, when we talk about problem solving, we say, hey, bad, trouble, okay? I needed to fix this, fix that. But, you needed to change your mindset a little bit. This is the chance to show your ability. Treat this as the opportunity that you can achieve something in addition, okay? Sell more product, okay? Get more things done, right? And then also try to, show your performance to your future bosses, your boss's boss. Now, I have changed my mind that the problem is good. First thing, you accumulate experience. The second thing, always, this becomes some opportunities for you, for us. The first, let's say that the topic we will cover is the problem solving process. Decision making is part of this process for sure, right? So let's take a quick look regarding this circle. Recognizing the situation. Keep this in mind. I would put S here. And then generate alternative. This is alternative. Evaluate the alternative. This is also the alternative. Choose the best alternative. This is also the alternative, right? Easy, right? And then implement. Let me put this I, okay? And then we will evaluate the result. So that will be the result. I will tell you why I write this down. But think about the decision making. When you need to make decision, actually, all along this circle, right? Circle, you needed to make the decision. You made the decision. What is the situation, right? Alternative. You want to choose the best or optimal. I should not say best. We don't have best. You never find the best. Optimized. economics, right? We talk about economics, we talk about optimize. You make the decision when you implement. So even if you make your mind to implement one of the alternative, but this alternative can turn out to be not so good, right? Adjustment, you need to adjust. This is additional decision to make. And then evaluate the result. And then you would somehow, you needed to, let's say, call evaluation or summarizing, whatever. You needed to make the decision whether this is the one I can carry on or I can put into my toolbox. Let me remind you the situation. I try to catch the keywords, right? The situation, and then the second is about the alternative, okay? Yeah, it's a little messy. So generating the alternative and then assess the alternative. Now it's the time to tell you the story, okay? The color of the light. 25 years ago, when I started to, to manage the media department, so we just had the grand opening. For the first 1 week, 1 or 2 weeks, I forgot. And then I remember that the business was very, very, very bad. I started to be a little panic, right? Because you know meat, agribusiness, we sell those perishable products. Usually grand opening means that we should have a very good business. And then I started to observe. Customer came in, right? And then they check, they look, and then they walk around, and they didn't pick anything, and then they left. Right? Probably you already know what happened. And then I also not only observe the customer, but also I check other competitors' business. And then I realized construction team, they installed the daylight, light for my department. Very, very white. All right. Instead of you see those other meat, more like cops. Will you buy that? But then I realized the competitors, they use even soft white, go to the other direction, very warm, very soft, okay? And they even turned out to be red. And then immediately, this is the one, the decision or the problem I needed to solve, right? I needed to assess the alternative. I do nothing, all right? Not my business, construction team, okay? Or on the other side, I needed to, the results after assessing the situation, I changed the light. Comparatively, it is the softer white, right? You know what I'm talking about, huh? You know what I'm talking about. And immediately, the business boomed. It turned out this is a very, very good decision I made. Quickly, this can be the small problem. This is not a big problem, but this is very important, right? Very critical. This evaluating the alternative. Actually, the previous example we already mentioned about evaluating the alternative. I would say, like from the textbook, this is from the textbook, it's a little theoretical, right? So evaluate the alternative, address the satisfaction, consider the consequence. Okay, so common sense, right? You don't need to memorize everything. You just follow the logic, all right? Understand the process. Evaluating, we're evaluating. This is the alternative, okay? I needed to take each of those alternatives out and then see what is the result. Whether it's good result, not so good results, it doesn't mean the available alternative are the best, right? Or are either all available or feasible, or it's the good one. You needed to further gathering information, further creating. So regarding this process, it's still like a small circle. Let me give you another good example. Hey, see this bananas. It called a banana, 1 banana a day. This is from a Korean grocery store, right? I think they're very creative, I have to say. They pack the banana into a box, different color. I like pictures, guys. A picture worth 1,000 of words, and then you already know what does that mean. But come back to this. This is the one of the alternative. If you want to sell more banana, okay, you can come up with this idea. Pack the banana, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why 6? But I needed to further assess. Let me ask you this: if you are a manager in Walmart or Sam's Club, will you do that? Probably not, right? Why? Cost saving. We already sell cheaper products. You cannot or you should not introduce additional cost. We don't have the robot to do this packaging, right? We need someone to pick. But also you need to consider, if we pick those from this, what is it, a bunch of banana, what about the rest? Okay, additional labor, additional cost. All right, this cost means like a product cost. But this idea can be adopted by Whole Foods. All right, so then halfway, right? We selected the best alternative. It's still A, right? Still A. We, consider the consequence, satisfaction, right? And then we choose one alternative, okay? And then once we choose that, actually this is the process to solve the problem, right? And then you need to, once this from the idea become like some action, gather resource, money, labor, right? You need to hands-on to make it happen, implementing this alternative. And then we come back to this evaluating the results. I don't, read this because it's, honestly, it's quite straightforward, right? Two very important points for you guys. It's not on the textbook. As a new manager, a long time ago, I was a new manager, right? I worried a lot once I have problems. You are new, you want to do a good job, right? And then you don't want your boss to somehow like blame you not doing a good job. Once you accumulate experience, I draw this conclusion later. No worry. Why? We have the trouble, we have the problem. Okay, you started to go through this process. You have a problem. This applies to your life as well. You have a problem. Can you solve the problem? Yes, right? If it is yes, you can solve the problem. Why worry? Why you worry about that? Why panic? If you cannot solve the problem, you cannot, whether your boss can or cannot. If your boss can solve the problem, why you worry? If your boss cannot solve the problem, why you worry? Your boss should worry, and your boss escalate this to his boss or her boss, right? You don't worry. If really that should be here, if you cannot, then you should not worry. You escalate, right? You ask support, you ask help. If still not, your company cannot, why you worry that? That means very likely no one can solve that problem. Okay, no worry. This is something that you needed to learn. Okay,